Bloop. Ooh. Okay, wait. Okay. I'm organizing and cleaning. I am in front of my closet. A little messy looking, but it is way better than it has been before. I'm gonna spit out my gum because I know that will be distracting. So I had to cut that off really quick. Cleaning around. It's about 1:45 p.m. I've got a number of things that I wanted to do today. Mainly like kind of just cleaning up and sprucing up things, and then also I have to take care of a few work things as well, so I'll want to be going to a coffee shop later. I don't know if I'll do that. There's a smudge on the screen. Later in the afternoon or later tonight. Anyway, I've been talking about doing that and I have yet to do it because, well, I get caught up with hanging out with my siblings or something and it's kind of late and I just don't want to drive and do that, so there we go. But I'm watching YouTube videos while I'm doing this, and I think it'd be good for me to just address right now one of the things that's like eating away at my mind a little bit. Eating away, that sounds really creepy, but it's on my mind, but just sort of the next step, and knowing what to do for the next step. So this past spring, I graduated finally with a BS in psychology from a local university here, and a long time coming. It took me 6 years to do, with a couple of terms where I didn't take classes, or I took 2-3 classes rather than a full schedule. I was working instead or whatever, having to transfer to community college and stuff, and then back to the university, and now it's finally, well, come to a close as far as like getting through that. Now I just have to worry about student loans, right? So I'm kind of struggling right now to know what to do, what to do next, and I don't know. I think I'm sort of, I feel like I'm debilitating myself a little bit because I'm getting so overwhelmed, and I know that I need to kind of channel all this energy into being proactive. And so that's the whole like work thing, going to a coffee shop later today. That's what I'm trying to, and then just cleaning and sprucing things up and all that. I'm trying to be active, and all that. Past couple of days I've been waking up, past few days really, to be honest, I've been waking up at like 10:30 in the morning, which is crazy late for me. The latest I ever woke up was probably 12:30, and I don't like doing that because you waste just so much of the day, and I'm sluggish when I do that, and I just feel like, oh, I want to do this today, but oh, it's already, you know, early afternoon, like I don't have enough time to do it, right? So I need to do things that are proactive, that are active. I can't, even if it is just cleaning my room. And while this has been like an ongoing project for about the last month or two, like, as long as I'm actually working through something, doing something, it's better than nothing at all, than just lazing around or just laying around feeling sorry or stressed out or whatever, right? And the thing is, like, I know if like someone were to come to me with the same issue, right? With the same problem, like telling me, you know, Allie, I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I don't know what to do next, and all that stuff, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, right? Because this is all of what I'm feeling right now. I'd have to kind of sit down and think about what I would say to that person and tell them that it's okay, you know, it might suck really bad right now, that or feel super overwhelming because you're having to figure everything out, you know, but it'll be okay. What I would tell that person, what I should be telling myself, right, is as long as you're being active, as long as you're doing things, it's okay, right? Don't be stagnant, because then that's when like the weight of everything sinks in, right? If you're constantly doing something, and I'm not saying don't take a breather and, rest or, ease your mind, do things that'll relieve stress for you, but be proactive. And that's what I should be telling myself, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be proactive. So here I am sitting, taking a break from cleaning, recording this, but I feel like I want to just get that out there because that's part of what I'm feeling right now. And I think another thing, and I don't know if I'll get super into this right now, but another thing right now that I'm kind of not struggling with, but not dealing with, because it sounds like, oh, I have to deal with it, but things that I'm also trying to keep in mind is my relationship with other people, like friends, my family, whatever, coworkers, whatever, and I'm trying to keep in mind too much of what they want, and so it's making the situation even more difficult, I guess. And it's not anybody's fault at all. Not blaming friends, family at all. The way I process everything that's coming in, like all the information that's coming in to me, that's just the way I'm processing it, and it's not anybody's fault, right? But I don't know, it's overwhelming. So, I don't know, take it a day at a time. Do a little bit at a time. So, anyway. I don't know, I'm 24. And well, I'm not older, right? Obviously. It's not like super late in the game or anything. I'm 24 and living with my family, which is great in some ways. And I love my family. Even if sometimes we can, butt heads a little bit, right? It's just, it's difficult balancing what I think everybody needs or wants from me. Like, and again, nobody's fault. It's just, it's difficult. And, I'm looking at, what can I do with a psychology degree, a bachelor's in psychology, right? And a lot of the time I'll get the same response from people like, oh, so are you going to go to graduate school? Or, oh, so what can you do with a degree like that? I don't know. Lots? I don't know. It's like before the question was, what are you majoring in? What are you majoring in? And what school do you go to? Now it's like, oh, okay, so what are you going to do with your degree? I feel like there's probably a set question that everyone, like, asks for each age group or, like, life stage. At least, like, in America, right? Oh, what school are you gonna go to? What college are you gonna go to? Have you applied for colleges yet? Are you excited for college? Oh, okay, so what are you majoring in? Okay, cool. What do you want to do with that? Oh, so you graduated. That's great. What are you gonna do with your degree now? Oh, what can you do with that degree? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. And for a while, especially within the last school year or so, last school year and a half, I kept thinking to myself that I want to get out of the area and I want to go somewhere. Luckily, and very gratefully, my parents are they got me a ticket to, you know, a few weeks out of the country, so we'll say. And, like, I'm very fortunate and very lucky. They're, like, footing the bill for a lot of it. And it's kind of funny because sometimes I don't even feel like I deserve it. And that's another thing in and of itself, so I won't get into that. But luckily, I'll be able to travel for a few weeks, and so that'll be great. But even before I knew about that, I've wanted to just get out of the area. I've been in the same state, the same state for the past 23 years, with the exception of being in the Philippines for like a year, right? Or being in Florida for the first couple of days that I was born, right? And I've been in the same city for more than 10 years. I've been here for like 12, I think. And, you know, with my family, which I love my family. While there are some things that I wish I could have experienced, or it's different from living on your own, I'm grateful that I'm with my family and thankful for my parents and my siblings, right? But I just need to get out. It's not about, oh, I don't like it here. I mean, sometimes when I'm in a really bad spot, it'll feel that way. But I think just overall, in general, I just feel it in my being that I need to get out. And that's, I think, also the reason why I'm having trouble with figuring out work. Because again, nothing is like set in stone. If I got a job at like some office or something, doing something a little bit more than just like customer service or whatever, like even if I got a job like that, it's not written in stone. I don't have to stay there, right? But, you know, I remember my friend and we were at a Safeway, which is a grocery store around here, and we were talking to one of the cashiers. She's probably a manager as well. I think that's what she said. She was a manager. Very nice, very sweet, kind person. Tired. She looked tired every single time we saw her, but I remember curly hair, tall, thin. And I remember her telling us that she had majored in psychology. She had gotten her master's in psychology. I think she got her, I can't remember. I think she couldn't have gotten her doctorate. She went to grad school. She graduated with a degree in psychology, an MS or something, right? Like, she went on to graduate school. I think she said she got her doctorate in psychology. I could be totally wrong, but I think she did. she's working at a grocery store as a manager. And it's not to say that like you did all that schooling or you got that education but you're only working at a grocery store. You know what, whatever makes you happy. But I remember her saying that she was working there while she was in school, and then after she graduated, she just kind of stayed there, right? And and again, this is, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing this is more and more difficult to do, is to, at least for me, at least for maybe some people, it feels difficult to do, but like feeling like you can do something different, right? Going out there and doing something different. And that's why, like, and that scares me. Like, I don't want to, and again, while technically this woman or anybody, myself included, does not have to stay at a job if we don't want to, like, it's a lot harder than it sounds, I think, for most people. Maybe some people are just kind of like, okay, we're done with this, I'm gonna go now, right? And I can respect those people that can just be like definitive and be decisive for themselves, just like, nope, don't want to do it anymore, this isn't doing anything for me anymore, I'm gonna go and move on. And I guess now that I'm talking about it out loud like this, I'm realizing that that's sort of the situation that I'm in as far as work goes. Luckily, in talking to my new boss, it seems like I can find a happy balance. I wouldn't take, I don't know, happy balance, like not even a compromise, because compromises, I remember, is not ideal, even though it seems like it would be, but it's like both sides aren't getting exactly what they want, I guess. They have to give up something, but like this is a good solution for me, as far as work goes, but it's not going to be sustainable. Oh my god, I think I lost where I was gonna go with that. But for the job that I have now, I have a solution for it, and I think it'll be a good one for me. It kind of meets sort of all my needs at the moment. I'll get into this in another video, I think, but it fits with what I want to do right now. But that's only a small component of what I need to do right now. I would need to get a second job, so I have to balance. I have to keep in mind, like, what do I want to do as a second job? Do I want to try to find something that's a little bit more psych related? Do I want to find something that's fun and kind of like, and not entry level, but like basic level jobs, right? It doesn't require a whole lot. I mean, you know, you have to have some skill, right? Competencies, but, you know, I don't need to have a doctorate in psychology in order to apply and get this job, right? Or do I want something that's a little bit more like full-time, a little bit more integrated, I guess. I don't know how to describe that. So I don't know what to do. I know what I want, what my dad probably wants me to do, you know? I know that my sister, I've told her, oh, maybe I'll do this, and she's like, yeah, if you want to, right? And so it's like, I don't know what to do. And I think, actually, now that I'm saying that, my older sister, right, I'm the second of 5, my older sister, I think, she would always just say this, like, no matter what your decision is, like, she said this in previous situations, but like, no matter what your decision is, like, have a plan. If you decide that you want to, for example, if you decide that you want to move to California, okay, fine, but have a plan. Like, some people, or maybe it just seems like this, but some people can just go on a whim and be like, blah, I'm gonna go and live in California when I live in Oregon, or do whatever, right? Can just go on a whim, right? And some people, that works for them. Some people need to, like, plan it to a T, right? And I'm not the type of person to just go out on a limb. Like, I barely, you know, am spontaneous enough to go out on a, like, Friday night to some restaurant or whatever to go hang out with a friend or something like that, you know, right? I'm not super spontaneous for whatever reason. I think I can be, but not all the time. Let alone changing my life completely and just going. And I remember, I actually admire one of my coworkers, my former coworkers, because so he grew up in California. He went to school up here in Oregon. Excuse me. And he ended up coaching afterwards, after he had graduated, and then he moved to three different places around the country to coach. And he just like, well, okay, I feel like applying here. Let's see if I can do it. And he would just do it. I was like, good for you, right? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't like just a cakewalk the whole time, right? But it's just kind of like, you know what? I feel like doing this. I'm going to go do it. Right? So I really admire that, and I want that for myself because, well, a little bit of that, right? I don't want to feel like I'm, even though technically at any point you can rewrite your life, you can be on this path and then veer off right over here if you'd like to, right? And then there are some times where, you know, life will just throw things at you, whether or not you wanted them to or not, right? But that's a different thing, right? When you personally want to make those decisions for you. And that's the thing. I don't want to feel like I'm like entrenching myself into a certain life already. Even though that's not necessarily the case, but I feel like right now if I were to do that, that's how I would feel. Especially going from, you know, having been in college for 6 years, living at home for the past 6 years, and after high school in my adult life, right? Having different jobs. Some I've had like the same sort of job, like on and off. All these things, it's just basically been the same for the past 6 years, and I just want to do something different. Luckily, my trip that my parents have so lovingly given to me, even though I don't think I really deserve it, right? Like, that'll be different enough, right? That'll be a little snippet of something different, right? The fact that I'm not going to be going back to school this fall, that'll be different, right? I don't know if it'll hit me quite yet, because again, like, there were a couple of times where I wasn't taking classes or whatever, so I mean, it just feels like another summer to fall, whatever. I didn't take classes, whatever. But, like, I'm not obligated to go take classes anymore, right? And I'm finding, like, more and more as I've gotten older, more and more you have to be more proactive. You know, in elementary school, you were told to go to school. You had to go to music class. You did math at this time. Snack time was this. Recess, da-da-da-da, all these things. This is your bus stop. Very, very set out for you, right? And just, well, I mean, just makes sense, right? The older you got, the more independence you got. And it makes sense. It sounds so silly that I'm saying this. Like, obviously, duh. But I guess just, like, less and less, you had to make more and more, you had to make your own decisions, or you had to, within the confines of what, you know, stage you're at, whatever situation you're in. And I'm talking for too long, but I don't know. I just feel like if I were to do anything super, I don't want to do anything super entrenching. Maybe that means that I take a year to, you know, to work, save money, do something like that. Maybe it'll take me a year and a half. I don't know. Like, I don't want to feel confined, I think. I think there have been a couple of decisions that I've made that have been pretty life-altering, and there have been times where I feel like, okay, well, that is the the what's the word? The threshold of my potential. Right? There have been times where I felt like that. And that's not a great feeling. You know? And I don't want to feel that way. And I know it's not true. The thing is, I know that it's not true. While maybe sometimes in my mind I can convince myself of anything. Like, I know if someone were to come to me with that, like, I know I would just be like, that's so silly. That is so not true. And I've come across people that have been like, yeah, I decided to go back to school after my kids all graduated from high school or left home, or, you know, I was in this field and I just didn't feel like it was right, so I went back to school. And there are people that are changing things all the time. I don't like that I feel so limited when I know that that's just not true. You know, it's funny that I'll be like other people's cheerleaders, right? But for myself, I'm not that way at all. And I think a lot of people might be like that, right? That's funny. I don't know. I probably should know this, if there's like some sort of psychological phenomenon that explains all that or whatever. But it's just silly. Like, I should not feel like I'm limited. While there are certain things that I realistically have to be in a different situation to actually accomplish or do or whatever, like, it's not impossible, right? If I want to do it, it's not impossible. Might try it, maybe it won't work out, but at least I did it. At least I was actively trying to make whatever that thing is happen, rather than just be like, oh yeah, no, that's actually not something I can do, right? That's just so silly and stupid of me, right? Anyway, I've talked for way too long. This was supposed to be like 10 minutes. Whoops. But if you, I don't know. If you ever feel like you're stuck, get yourself unstuck by doing things. Whether it's as small as something that's productive, right? Like going out and getting drunk, or, you know, sitting in and just watching Netflix and doing nothing, right? Nothing that's productive in some sort of capacity. Okay. But do something productive. So, now that I've spent 20, almost 30 minutes talking to myself instead of being productive, I'll just leave that there, because I gotta get back to doing productive things. Until next time, though, I feel better. I feel a little bit better. But yeah. Okay. Bye. Till next time. Bye.